Shocking footage has emerged of a Canterbury pig farm exposed by activists from a group called Farmwatch. Among them is Waitati resident Carl Scott, who's long been involved in advocating for the rights of animals. He joins us tonight to talk about the group's discovery and what should be done about it. Good evening, Carl.
Hi, Rebecca.
Tell us about some of the conditions on this Canterbury pig farm.
It was awful. We saw all sorts of things. There was concrete fattening pens indoors with lots of pigs in there, overcrowded. There was cold, wet conditions. They were covered with faeces and urine. There was dead pigs in with the live pigs. We saw some other pens that had quite young pigs crammed in literally like sardines. We found dozens and dozens of rats crawling over the bodies of these young pigs. We found lots of dead piglets. A wheelie bin full of dead piglets, dead and dying piglets in with their mothers. The thing that always gets me on the pig farms is the farrowing crates. The mother pigs, the breeding sows, go into these crates, give birth, and then they nurse their young. The crates are so tight and so small that the pig can stand up, lie down. She can't even turn around, and she's in there for 4 weeks. If that was done to a human, that would be called torture.
Is this an unusually bad example of pig farming in this country?
No, and I think that's a key point here. There might have been 1 or 2 elements on that farm that were slightly different, but overall that farm is sadly quite typical.
What do you hope to see happen as a result of Farmwatch releasing this footage?
One of the main reasons we do it is public awareness. People can't make informed decisions if they're not informed. The industry keeps it hidden, we expose it. So the thing we're hoping to do is get a bit of traction with the government on this issue.
Have you seen or do you know of this kind of thing happening?
Yes, there's 2 farms I'm aware of, about 10 minutes drive from the city. Bloham's up on Highcliffe by Soldiers Monument. They also have battery hen cages up there. And funny enough, about 50 minutes drive north of Dunedin in Hamden, there's a large pig farm, and that's owned by Ian Carter, spokesperson for the New Zealand Pork Board. I've been inside his farm and yeah, it's farrowing crates, the usual sort of thing.
What are the main problems with pig farming to be addressed?
Before I answer that, and I will, I want to try and clarify a point that I think people get confused about. There's 2 schools of thought in the animal movement. There's the welfare position that says it's acceptable to use animals for our purposes, but they should have a good quality of life and a quick, painless death. And frankly, if we achieved that, that would be a massive improvement. The rights position, and this is kind of the camp that I'm in these days, says it's inextricably linked to the vegan lifestyle, and it says, you know, I think most people know by now I'm vegan, and a lot of people, millions and millions of people around the world who are vegan, people who are living proof we don't need to eat animals, we can clothe ourselves without hurting animals, etc. And the rights position says that because we know we don't need to hurt animals at all, therefore we have a moral obligation not to. A lot of my work in the past has been sort of in between the 2 camps, saying this is what I believe, but if we can get improvements, that would be good. I realise that probably seems like a crazy idea to some people, but hey, you know, when William Wilberforce talked about abolishing slavery, that seemed crazy. When Kate Sheppard wanted to talk about votes of women, they thought that was crazy. This is an idea that I think we need to talk about more. So
are there enough incentives for farmers to improve the standards?
That's really hard to answer from the rights perspective, because the rights perspective says the solution to the problem is get rid of all farming. As I say, a lot of people would think that's extreme, but so it's hard to talk about regulation from the rights position.
Are farming practices in this country getting better?
To be honest, I think they're getting worse. We're seeing factory farming of beef cattle. There's a beef feedlot up in Burton, indoor intensive factory farming of dairy cattle, fish farming, all sorts of things. I think we're going backwards.
From Farmwatch, Carl Scott, thanks very much for your time.
Welcome, thanks.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, 3 local sports